Hi everybody. I just returned last night from a another trip. It was my third one in the past month. I went to Savannah, Georgia to speak at a Republican uh, Party event, and subsequent to which I went to Jackson, Mississippi to meet some people from Ole Miss and many of the powerful politicians uh, in Mississippi, all of whom were absolutely wonderful. And then went to Oxford, Mississippi to visit uh, Ole Miss and visit the center, the Declaration of Independence Center, met the director, the associate director, and all the rest of the people. I've never experienced so much love and support, so it was a truly wonderful trip. But the point of today's episode is to talk about two things. Number one, what took place with between Zelensky and Trump and Vance this week, the interaction. Admittedly, I did not watch the full clip, which put things in context and puts things in context. But I certainly watched the snippets where there was heated exchanges. When I weighed in on social media about those exchanges, it in no way is a position on whether I support Putin or not. It, my position was absolutely independent of anything about Putin and anything about who is the aggressor or the victim or the aggressed in this dynamic. But of course, I receive endless hate about I'm so disappointed in you. I'm so sad for you. I've lost respect for you. F off. How about that for my response? My point was to talk about the importance of protocol. And believe me, it's not as though I'm someone who tempers their speech to be faux nice and so on. But I do know how to act in various contexts according to the social demands and the norms of that particular environment. And so the way that I might speak to my soccer buddies in the locker room is different than how I speak if I'm meeting the president of a university. It doesn't make me a chameleon. It makes me someone who is sufficiently socially gracious that I know how to modulate my actions depending on the context. When Zelensky shows up and litigates his position openly in front of the media in a very, very hostile and disrespectful manner, that matters. It's as if I invite someone to my house and I give them a huge panoply of hospitality in terms of food, but they're pissed off because I didn't have the right kind of wine that they prefer, or I didn't buy the type of fish that they wanted, even though I spent $4,000 to host them. You would probably say that's an ingrate and polite guest. Now, in this case, there are different estimates. Trump says that the US has given $350 billion. Others have said it's in the order of 125 billion. We can split the difference, but many, many billions of US taxpayers have been spent in the defense of Ukraine. I'm not discussing whether it is money well spent or not. I'm talking about the sense of petulance, the sense of entitlement that you come and you lecture. You shut the F up, you say, "Thank you, sir. I look forward to working with you," and you swallow your tongue. That's what I was referring to. It doesn't take a fancy expert in geopolitics to understand that if you're going to beg for more money, then you probably should be very uh, modulated in how you speak to those who are going to open the purse strings to give you that money, to open up the coffers. So that's all I was saying about that story. Secondly, today I opened up my Twitter feed, and literally almost every single post on my feed was Ramadan Mubarak and Ramadan Kareem from every basketball team, every soccer team, every NFL team, every government agency, every politician, every athlete. Now, Why is that a problem? 20 years ago, nobody said Ramadan Kareem and Ramadan Mubarak in the West because the number of Muslims in the West weren't sufficiently high that you felt the pressure to pander to the Islamic population. Now, if the Muslim population is 3% or 5% or 10% in different places, and you're already having halal in cafeteria, halal in all restaurants, halal in all groceries, religious accommodations everywhere, Ramadan Mubarak all the time. What happens when it's 25%, when it's 50%? Do you think that that might be the reason why 56 countries today around the world are nearly entirely Islamic? Not everywhere that Islam goes, it is only done through the sword. It is done in a multitude of ways, oftentimes precisely because of the West's suicidal empathy. I discuss all this in my forthcoming book. The parable of the boiling frog is really apt here. Remember it. This is what's happening. So, what if there's public prayers that block the sidewalks and the streets? Can't you just wait a few minutes until we finish our prayer? So, what if the corridors in the plane are blocked because I now have to pray? Can't you be respectful and suicidally empathetic a bit more? So, what if we conform to halal even though the great majority of the country is not Islamic? Shouldn't you be kind and at least appeal to us? That's the problem. It's not. It doesn't take much for you to, you know, to walk around and give the religious salutations to every religion. But I don't remember the last time I faced having to give salutations to Hinduism, to Jainism, to Buddhism, to Shintoism, to Seventh day Adventists, and on and on. 10,000 plus religions. It used to be Judeo Christian, but now it's Ramadan Mubarak. That's what I was referring to. So remember the boiling frog parable and remember who warned you. Take care, everybody.